G'day subscribers and welcome to FJ Holden Jive Talking. You're with Jules Knight from the NASCO Bay Speed Shop. Today I'd like to show you the grey motor. Now this is the motor that was used all the way through to the end of the EJ, so that's from the start of the 48215 model all the way through. So colloquially the FX, FJ, FE, FC, FB, EK, EJ, before they needed to zoom the power up a little bit more and go to the red motor. But this motor came out in two sizes ultimately, and we can see our little shop assistant there, Ruby, in the background. She's coming along to see what Dad's doing. But as I was talking about with this motor, it originally came out in a 132.5 capacity. So without being too nerdy on it, that is a 3-inch bore and pretty much 2.2 litre engine. And the cars kept getting bigger and bigger that they were using this for, so they actually had to go from a 132 to a 138 motor a little bit further down the track to just get a little bit more horsepower. But look, I've picked this one up ready to go from Maxi, and I'm actually going to use it in my FJ. Now, some of the things on it are really good. And it's pretty much the same power plant for FX or FJ. Look, one of the things here is it came with this air cleaner, so it's a beauty. However, you know, when you go to the master parts catalog, you'll see the upgrade to the commonly referred to FJ air cleaner. So, you know, this was the original type, and I don't know whether they were bringing them out originally on FJs or not. I've seen things on the forum that says, you know, that's what it should have, but every FJ I see actually has the bigger air cleaner, which has got the stay from here where it sits down to the first bolt. Now, I think in a lot of instances there is differences as to how the motors were done. Now, I haven't gone through this motor and detailed it up yet. I've just kept it in the cradle, but you can see it's got some of the clips that are supposedly on the motor, and some of the AHF newsletters that were put out were very good at saying, you know, there should be a clip here holding the thermostat with these fuel hoses, and there should be another one here and so on. But I'm going to get to all that later as I just detail it up. But this one here is actually a 48215, an FX example, and you can see it's got the little heat shield there, whereas FJ didn't have that. And one of the things that I liked about this motor in particular is, you know, things still work and they're not all seized up. But it's got a 6-volt generator on it. I won't be using that particular example because I've already got a reconditioned one all ready to go. And as I've explained to subscribers, you know, I also have another starter motor that I'm going to put in here, just from that perspective of, you know, not having any problems to start with. I've already picked my battery. I've already got my battery, and it's a matter of getting the warranty motor that's in my car out, the gearbox out, and installing this the swap for this motor and also the professionally put together gearbox. But this was a runner when I bought it. It sits in a nice little cradle, so Max has done a really good job of all of that. It's a terrific display piece, but I've just had it sitting in underneath my shelving, ready to roll for when the time comes. But in this example, it's a really good little motor. Now some of the different things you see, and it really depended upon where things were put together, whether it was Brisbane or Sydney or Adelaide or Melbourne, for instance, or the complete knockdown kits going to Perth and New Zealand. You know, do these get painted, or are they supposed to be cadmium plated? Are these painted, the bolts, or they're cadmium? So there's, you know, all of those types of things, and it's a little bit like Mundy Brown. There's no real right answer to things, and I sort of defy anyone to be an expert, because in talking to the old timers from, that worked at General Motors, as far as they were concerned, they just, worked with whatever they had. But in this instance, because it's a 6-volt, the distributor in here the distributor that I've got going in here will be an orange cup, and that'll be the same orange as the Bosch regulator box, with that red oxide type of color. The breather pipe, that's supposed to be black, and we've got black on the breather cap as well. Now you see some engine grey, and you see some water pumps and fans illustrations being black, whereas in this instance it's engine grey. It sort of doesn't make sense after they put the engine together. They want to just spray the whole lot and then add the black breather pipe and so on, and then put the carburetor on, or they put a can over the top of the carburetor and just shoot the lot. So gee whiz, it's so confusing sometimes and hard to say what's what as far as the colours of a motor are concerned. But I think at the end of the day, if you've got a really nice engine bay, things look clean and tidy, you've tried to do the right colours. So for instance, my generator will be the same as the regulator box, and also the starter motor, and the distributor on the other side. So that will all match, and I'll have the big FJ air cleaner that goes from here with the strap down to the forward bolt, and I'll zinc those, cadmium plate them, and then I'll just work out what I'm doing with the pipes. The pipes that are on it at the moment are really ratty. I don't like this at all. You can get much nicer ones that are professionally put together. Now this is an early model, so the engine number for this one's under 8,000, but for a 56, the fuel will come here, and where it comes into the needle and seat in here, it's actually a straight in pipe, not a pipe at 90-degree angle. So it's a different fitting here, and I don't know why they did the change, but they did the change, and that's all there is to it. And one of the other little finish off bits that I like is from a safety thing on the end of the choke cable. You've stopping it having a barb on it. But look, it's not a bad motor. I was really pleased to jump on it when the situation arose, and it really probably gave me 12 months back, from the perspective of taking my original motor out and giving it to my mate, the master mechanic, and then having them do a bit of a job on it, and then getting it ready and then giving it back to me. So I've probably, with this and the gearbox, bought myself 12 months. So from that perspective, that's pretty good, and I'm really happy with that, because it gets me 12 months earlier to the finish line. So look, that just gives you a little bit of an idea of the power plant. Now I realise it's not a crate motor, and I'm not representing it as such, but it's nearly had everything done to it. It's pretty good. Max had it running. He only took the starter motor and distributor out when I picked it up from him, because they weren't included in the deal. But it's got everything on there, everything that I need anyway. So I'll also work out which radiator is best for me, but I'll definitely be moving the powder coated air cleaner on its way, and probably doing the same with my own FJ my own FJ air cleaner before I put it on. But we plug up the holes in storage. We've got a handkerchief shoved in the distributor hole there, and we've got socks on the bottom of the manifold, and there's also another one for the top as well, to stop any creepy crawlies going in there. So we're trying to look after things as we go. But anyway, that was a little bit on a power plant for an FJ Holden here on FJ Holden Jive Talking. So I'm appreciating people sending in some notes. We've had people phone in from New Zealand and Perth and Adelaide. Another fellow ring me from Los Angeles to talk about NASCAR accessories. So all of those things have been terrific. But in the meantime, don't forget to share, like and subscribe. But more importantly, enjoy your Holden.